Back in the day, Manchester United didn't just win games, they owned them with a swagger that screamed dominance. They were the squad that had opponents rattled before they even stepped off the bus. Sir Alex Ferguson wasn't just a coach. He was the mastermind behind a golden era of relentless success, crafting a team that oozed intensity, a winner's mentality, and turned Old Trafford into a fortress where rivals came to tremble. Losing? That was a foreign concept. Words like rebuild or failure didn't exist in their dictionary. But when Ferguson hung up his clipboard in 2013, after 26 years of glory, United went from giants to ghosts of their former selves. Legends like Cristiano Ronaldo, David Beckham, Eric Cantona, Ryan Giggs, and Wayne Rooney didn't just light up the pitch, they carried an aura that made opponents shrink. These days, though, the headlines aren't about epic victories, but about off-field drama, locker room clashes, or decisions that seem more about cash than ambition. The stats tell a brutal story. In over a decade since Ferguson's exit, United's trophy cabinet has only snagged a Europa League, a League Cup, and an FA Cup. Solid, sure, but for a club used to hoisting Premier League titles and dreaming of Champions League glory, it's crumbs. Between 1992 and 2003, Manchester United bagged 8 league titles in 11 seasons. In total, they secured 13 Premier League titles by 2013. Now, they're scrapping for Europa League spots, sometimes missing even that. The dugout's been a revolving door of managers who promised the world but delivered headaches. It started with David Moyes, handpicked by Ferguson, but out of his depth. Fresh from Everton, where his squad was worth a fraction of United's $450 million roster, he lasted less than a season.
Then came Louis van Gaal, riding high off a third-place World Cup finish with the Netherlands. His possession-heavy defensive style was slammed as sluggish and snooze-worthy. Next up, Jose Mourinho, a fiery figure who could have brought back the glory days. He wasn't a total flop, but getting outshined by Pep Guardiola's Manchester City across town and signing duds like Alexis Sanchez and Paul Pogba sparked fan frustration and fractured the squad.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a United legend, felt like the perfect fit, but his big money signings like Edinson Cavani and Ronaldo didn't deliver consistent wins. Meanwhile, City were racking up titles and even reached a Champions League final. That stung. Ralf Rangnick rolled in next, but found a squad low on morale and effort, crashing to a measly 58 points and a 4-0 thrashing by Liverpool.
Then Erik ten Hag arrived, preaching discipline but getting bogged down by injuries, suspensions, boardroom chaos, and bizarre off-field calls, like his public feud with Ronaldo, which ended with CR7 walking away. Every manager brought hope, but it fizzled into inconsistency and groans.
Enter November 2024 and Rúben Amorim steps in to replace Ten Hag. The young Portuguese coach, fresh off working wonders at Sporting Lisbon with an aggressive modern style, wasn't just hired for his tactics, but for his knack for building lasting projects. His first take? United had lost their footballing soul and needed to find it before chasing silverware.
He walked into a talented but disjointed dressing room, full of egos and lacking real leadership. The fans split between longing for the good old days and giving up on yet another season. Amorim knew a rebuild meant a serious clear-out, ditching bloated contracts, players who didn't fit his vision, and those stirring up more drama than goals. He wanted a squad of fighters who'd bleed for the badge, not just collect a paycheck. Financially, the club had to tighten its belt, offload deadweight, and bet on young talent with resale value. A throwback to Ferguson's winning formula. The board, burned by years of wasteful spending, backed his plan to sign players who solve problems, not make headlines. Amorim didn't start from scratch, though. He spotted a core of players to build around. Bruno Fernandes, the team's heartbeat and captain, is non-negotiable. His vision, chance creation, and relentless hustle, leading in goals, assists, chances created, and ball recoveries last season, make him the guy who kept United afloat. Some say without him, they'd have been relegated.
Lenny Yoro, the young French center back from Lille, is the club's bet to anchor the defense for years. He's already showing star potential with goals, assists, and clutch performances. Lisandro Martinez, despite injury setbacks, brings a winner's mentality and fierce defending that fits Amorim's mold perfectly. Harry Maguire, often a punching bag for critics, stepped up last season, proving he's reliable when it counts. In midfield, Kobbie Mainoo's breakout is a rare bright spot. The young Englishman's poise, ball winning, and ability to handle pressure mark him as United's future engine. Others, like Mason Mount, Luke Shaw, Casemiro, and Matthijs de Ligt, are in limbo. But this core group isn't just a lineup, they're the soul of a team trying to rediscover its identity. Amorim's counting on them to speed up the rebuild and help new signings gel. On the transfer front, Amorim's gone for fit over flash. 3 new faces, none of them household names, signal his vision. Benjamin Šeško, a 6'4" Slovenian striker from Leipzig, is the modern number 9 United need. Strong, fast, great in the air, and a team player. His 15 Bundesliga goals last season, from headers to sharp finishes, have fans buzzing about their next Premier League hitman.
Matheus Cunha, a versatile Brazilian from Wolves, can play up top as a second striker or an attacking midfield. His agility, smart runs, and knack for sparking attacks make him the creative jolt United's been missing.
Brentford's Bryan Mbeumo brings pace, power, and defensive grit as a winger who doesn't just tear down the flank, but crashes the box and tracks back to help. Amorim plans to use him on the right, switching spots to keep defenses guessing. Tactically, Amorim's cooking up a hybrid system, a 3-4-3 with the ball, where midfielder drops to start play, and a tight 4-2-3-1 without it, pressing hard and breaking fast. It's about blending directness with control, something United's chased but never nailed in years. The outlook's exciting, but it's not all rosy. Šeško and Mbeumo need to handle Old Trafford's pressure cooker, while Cunha's injury history could trip him up. The Premier League's a beast, with City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea stacking their squads with world-class talent. Still, United's new transfer approach has eyes on more pieces.
Goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma, unhappy with PSG's terms after they signed Lucas Chevalier, could bring clutch saves and stability that Andre Onana hasn't. Diogo Costa from Porto, one of the world's top keepers, is another option to shore up the back. In midfield, Carlos Baleba from Brighton could pair with Mainoo, bringing physicality, ball progression, and press-breaking dribbles to create attacking overloads.
Gonçalo Inácio, a left-footed center-back from Sporting and an Amorim favorite, fits like a glove with his clean ball playing and top-tier defending stats. These targets aren't just shiny names, they're young, hungry, and built for impact. But United's future isn't just about signings. The academy's buzzing with talent ready to step up. Jack Fletcher, son of club legend Darren, has his dad's game-reading smarts and could be a midfield general. Shea Lacey's flair in tight spaces could unlock defenses. Harry Amass, a left-back with the mindset and build for modern football, is one to watch. Up top, Ethan Wheatley, the Jimmy Murphy Young Player of the Year, has a nose for goals that could thrive under Amorim. Toby Collier's work rate and ball winning make him a potential defensive midfielder in the rotation. These kids, alongside others like Finlay McAllister and Bendito Mentado, carry United's tradition of building from within. Amorim's job isn't just to sign stars, but to give these youngsters the trust to become Old Trafford's next icons. At its core, Amorim's mission is bigger than tactics or trophies. It's about bringing back the fear factor to Old Trafford, making rivals dread stepping foot there, and restoring the weight of the United shirt. He knows a hot start won't cut it. Consistency is the real test. Šeško, Cunha, Baleba, and Mbeumo could kickstart a new chapter, but the real win is making them symbols of something deeper. United's learned the hard way that history doesn't win games. A unified team with the right pieces does. And while the senior squad fights to get back on track, the youth setup remains the heart of United's legacy, where legends are born. The road's long, and the 2025-26 season will test Amorim's project. But if it holds up under the early heat, United could climb back to the top.
So, what do you think? Is Amorim making the right moves to drag United back to greatness? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you vibe with this video, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell for more football content. Let's go!